Hello, everybody. Back again. Lake Station Community Advocate and Educator here. Hope you're having a wonderful day. It's a beautiful day outside. Hopefully you're outside. You're enjoying this day, observing your neighborhood, enjoying the family. I wanted to touch on something. This is probably going to be a multiple part, and it's on transparent local accounting. So I hope you came prepared. I hope you have some listening ears, pencil and paper, and I hope that you're ready to learn because you're going to need to do a little bit more of this critical thinking. So let me begin this. You always hear me talk about, transparency, accountability, but I don't really get down to the nitty-gritty of the transparency and the accountability in local accounting and how important it actually really is to residents and why they should be more involved. I mean, transparent local accounting should be very easy for residents to comprehend, to understand, to read, to be able to put together the nuts and bolts of the city accountability, of the fiscal responsibilities in town, the finances. And a lot of times they don't. And hopefully you're not one of those residents who sell for it's made public. We're not hiding anything. It's all for everybody to see. It's all out there for everybody to see. That's a pretty clear indicator that you may not want to trust your leadership and you may want to start looking into your finances. So don't fool yourself. City finances are pretty obscure. They're pretty opaque in another sense. And believe it or not, let's say you had City Hall, and City Hall was just crammed full with residents. I'm going to probably guarantee you that 90% or more do not understand or cannot understand and how to read what they're looking at in city budgets. But you always hear your city officials go,
"But it's already, we got it balanced. It's okay."
And oftentimes people accept that. And then later on down the road, they realize that they're being stuck in referendums or we're paying off city bonds to investors that the city, went and ran and got some nice little bunches of loans and bonds from a city investor. And we have to pay those debts back instead of it going on into our community because those bonds got to be paid back before. So think about that. So we have to pay back the bonds. It doesn't get to go in our community immediately. We got to pay back those bondholders. And depending on that amount, things can be pretty extraneous. But do you think that you can look at the budgeting and the paperwork and figure this all out? Because most people can't.
No, I can't figure it out.
And it's okay that you can't figure it out. However, hopefully by the time I get done here, you have a little more understanding of why it's a little more important, that we need to be a little more involved with our city accounting, with the transparency, because it demands accountability, and we should, and we'll get to that in a moment. But I want you to think that anytime that there are developments, small or large, within town, and taxes get adjusted, anything having to do with taxes or funds from the residents or anything of that nature, all residents, not a few, not a select bunch, all the residents should be invited, and they should be very well educated in finances that are in question. However, oftentimes, most members that are sitting in these boards don't have a clue either, unless they're, certified in accounting, and they've done it for numerous years, and they really know what they're doing. But it's not just about revenue, it's about what the expenses are. It's about looking farther down the road and what's going to go on under the sheets. And oftentimes, like I said, residents, we trust them, they know what they're doing. And while, some municipalities are actually very transparent with their residents in the budgeting, and they believe that they're being transparent and they're being held accountable, they're holding themselves accountable because their finances and their budget reports are public, that's a fallacy. And sometimes even throwing too much information on budgets, meaning you put so much information that people can't understand it or process it, that it becomes very confusing, very overwhelming for a lot of the residents to even understand. A lot of them, unfortunately, still can't gather the information on how to do it. But, for example, let's say there's a new development, within a certain part of town, there's a new development, whether it's a building or let's say it's a block, right? Here's a question you ought to be asking yourself is in time, how are we going to pay for this infrastructure? And yeah, residents have to pay for that infrastructure. See, there's maintenance on the water, the sewer. If something goes wrong, mainline busts there, something, we're always paying for infrastructures, whether people know this or not. Now, question I personally would have is, so let me see. You want me to accept the fact that you're putting up a new neighborhood and with new infrastructures and new water lines and new sewer, new gas lines, new utilities, new all this great stuff, and we have older areas over here on the side that need that attention first, but you want me to readily accept this because you believe it's going to give us tax money and that it's going to fix all of that. Now, here's a question also that I would challenge everybody. Is with that new development that they're promising you that's going to be a big help, I want you to think, if the new development is smaller than the debts and the infrastructure maintenance debts, that new development means jack. It means nothing. That new development, tax income and all that will never bring in the amount of debt that the current infrastructures are needing. Because right now, if you were to ask your city officials to say, hey, how much infrastructure debt do you think we would have if we had to replace all the sewer or all the water lines? First thing they're probably going to do is they're going to probably shy away or get kind of antsy with you about it. And they're going to say, well, we really don't know. There's millions and millions of dollars of debt, and we really need help from the government to do that. So then my question would be to the residents is, do you feel that the residents deserve to take care of better infrastructures for a new section of neighborhood? Or do you think that they want to pay for the infrastructures for their own neighborhoods because we have lead water lines, things that are carrying bacteria, things that are making us literally sick and cancerous? Do you want old gas lines? Do you want old electric lines? What do you want? Do you want the new neighborhood that you're going to get taxed for and that there's bonds put out for and all these crazy things? Or would you rather have your taxes raised and you want to see an infrastructure improvement in your area, right? So transparent local accounting, this is why it's very important that people need to be involved. We need to know where the public money is going, who's doing what with it, and if it's truly actually being spent wisely. I mean, here's some really nice spending wisely in our town. It's pretty obvious. If you go by Riverview Park, you'll see all these nice little canopies around 24 hours a day that have neon lights that run all day, all night. Now they're going to argue and go, well, those are LEDs and LCDs. Those are cheap. Those are nothing. When they run 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, I want residents to go turn a light on, all your lights, if that, in every room, and each room is a canopy within that park. So if there's 5 or 6, turn on 5 or 6 bedroom lights and leave all those lights on. And you tell me at the end of the month what your bill is going to be. It's going to be a whole lot higher than expected. So I want you to think about that. That's bad investment, right? That's an appeasement is what that is. It's, let's make it look pretty so they get off our backs. But I'm here to educate you and to not accept those ways. So remember, transparent local accounting, it's pretty confusing. It's very chaotic. It's unnecessarily complicated for residents to really be involved with. And, it helps with having actual true financial strength. And when it's done wrong, it actually affects and hurts us all. I'm the Lake Station community advocate and educator. So on your bus ride home, I want you to think about some of these things about why we should be more involved in transparent local accounting and what we really need to be looking at in a thorough, better environment and light, because we all deserve better. And don't accept the excuses. Don't accept the brush-offs. Don't accept the, we'll keep you informed. Yeah, we'll look into that. Don't accept that. Don't accept the fact that just because budgets are open, they're to the public, that they're balanced and they know what they're doing, because that's a fallacy as well. So I want everybody to stay with me for part 2 of Transparent Local Accounting, because we're going to get to some deep things. Check out Lake Station Strong Towns Collective on Facebook, Lake Station Strong Local Conversation on Facebook, Lake Station Strong Towns Advocate and Educator on YouTube. And obviously, if you're here, you're watching me here. So have a wonderful afternoon.
Bye. Bye, everybody.